Hello again, it's me. I just got done with the run and wanted to share with you what's on my mind this morning, and maybe it's something that can relate to you. As on my run this morning, kind of having a rough week, honestly, and with just believing in what I think God's called me to do, and trying to and my own talents and abilities, and you get to a place where you start to doubt yourself and doubt your own abilities, and you just want to get to the plate and just watch the pitches go by. And as God dropped in my heart as a little league baseball coach, one of the things that used to really tear at my heart was, and it was sometimes brought on by me being a poor coach, but is kids getting to the plate and just standing there waiting for the walk. And I think that's what happens to us. It's, that's kind of the feeling I had this morning, was that, all this fear and this doubt, all I wanted to do is just get through the moment. And as a Little League baseball coach, I'd stand down at third base and I'd watch these kids you would see in practice just tear the cover off the ball, and then they get up there and they just stand there and wait. And you sometimes, even as a coach, when a pitcher was a little erratic or was having a hard time throwing strikes, I'd start down and say, hey, wait for the perfect pitch, wait for your pitch. And what happens to us is we get into play up to the plate, and we get in the batter's box, and we just stand there. We're standing there waiting for that perfect pitch to come in, and I don't think that's what God wants for us. I don't think God's standing down on third base like I was. He's not the coach that's in the coach's box screaming at us from the distance. Man, he wants to jump inside the batter's box with us. And I tell you, so badly that I at times as a coach just want to get in there to the batter's box with him and say, just swing, man, just swing. You have nothing to lose. And I know why they do. It's because we're afraid. I remember as a Little League baseball coach, I had this young kid who was 10 years old, and Little League baseball, maybe for some of you who are watching it, maybe you played baseball or coached it, but Little League baseball, here in our community, the 9 through 12-year-olds were all in the major leagues. You had minor leagues and major leagues, and the kids that were a little more talented or the coach picked would go to the major leagues. And so I had this 10-year-old, and it's rare for a 9-year-old to jump up. Obviously, 9 and 12 year olds are immensely different. But I had this young kid who's 10 years old who came to the major leagues, and he was a big kid. Heck, he was about my size, and I'm about 5'8", so I look bigger on the screen, no doubt about it. So if I disappoint you now that I'm 5'8", I'm sorry. But this big kid, and I remember the first practice, my brother's out in the outfield hitting pop flies to the kids, and I have other coaches that were doing drills, and I would take batting practice with the kids, and really the idea just to give them confidence. So early on I'd just throw meatballs so that they could just clobber the ball. And here's this kid, 10 years old, my size, gets in the batter's box and just tears the cover off the ball. He was hitting him over the fence. Now, rarely in an entire Little League season in our Little League program did you have a kid hit a home run, period. And here's this 10-year-old kid hitting the ball over the fence. And I remember yelling at my brothers, watch this. And man, the faster I'd throw, the harder he'd hit the ball, just tearing the cover off the ball. And he continued to do that in all the practices. And then we get to the first game, and there's this 12-year-old pitcher on the mound, and he's a really good young thrower, or a good thrower, but he was probably the smallest kid in the whole league. And he threw hard, but just certainly no harder than I was throwing in practice, and he certainly wasn't the hardest thrower in the league. But this 10-year-old kid gets up to the plate, and I'm down at third base coaching him, and he's in the batter's box, and I look, and here comes the pitch. And the pitch comes across the plate, and then he swings. I'm like, hey, come on now, you can do it. Here comes the next pitch. The ball hits the catcher's glove, and he swings. Now, kids will miss the ball. We all miss the ball. But the ball was hitting the catcher's mitt, and then he was swinging. One of those swings where they're just swinging to swing. And here comes the third pitch, and I'm encouraging him down third base, and Here comes the third pitch, and he hits the catcher's mitt, and he swings. And as we're getting to the dugout, I come from third base down to grab a hold of him and give him a hug, and walk into the dugout, and I'm whispering in his ears, and I said, "Hey, what's going on?" I won't say his name, and he said, "Coach, he's big." Well, what do you mean? "Coach, he's big." And here's this kid who's my size, and the kid that was on the mound throwing was probably the smallest kid in the league. I said, "Vic, you're so much bigger." I just said his name. Whoops. "Vic, you're so much bigger. What do you mean?" "Well, he's 12, Coach." And see, sometimes like Vic swung, but he really didn't swing. And it's no different than the kids that get in the batter's box and don't swing at all. They just want to get through it. And that's what fear does to us. See, for him, he saw a 12-year-old kid. He didn't see the size of the kid. He was older, so he had to, so he was afraid, and he really did nothing. And that's what fear does to us. And I'll tell you, this week and this morning, I really didn't want to do nothing. I knew I had to show up and go with the emotions, but I really didn't want to do nothing. Some of the things I'm planning, wanting to do with a special service I'm wanting to put on, and I think, well, no one's going to show. And boy, you're doing this out of vanity, and you're not a preacher. You're going to say things that people already know. And that's what fear does to us. The good news is that the game changer, he's not down on third base as a base coach from a distance. He's ready to jump into the batter's box with us. For I can do all things through Christ who is in me. We got to remember that. Because fear, he's a liar. And he who's inside of us is greater than he that is in the world. And so, quit standing waiting for a walk. Don't take token swings. Get in the batter's box knowing God's fully with you. Not beside you, not just in front of you, and not behind you, but in you. Go have a great day. Peace out.